House Mornard needs adventurers! Who's got the sand for the job? Why, it's you! I should have known you'd turn up on Galen. Good timing. We have plenty of trouble to go around today. I took a post as mage for hire to Count Mornard, but he needs all the help he can get. And he pays well for it. The usual. Well, more than that. Galen's beset by sea elf pirates. But these aren't the usual isolated raids. House Mornard's defending the Isle as best they can, but their knights are stretched thin, and the druids are too distracted to lend a hand. Some quarrel among the circles. Never seen the druids so at odds before. But if you're willing to help, go talk to the Count's son, Sir Stefan. He's just outside Vastir, leading the effort to drive off the Sea Elves. What do you say, sailor? Sir Stefan is outside Vastir with Lord Baccaro, the leader of the Society of the Steadfast. Which reminds me, I've got the healing herbs he asked for. Give these to Lord Baccaro, mate. Now I'm off. Got Sea Elf raiders near Windrak Fort to deal with. The Sea Elves? Haven't spent much time in these waters, eh? The technical term is Maormer, but nobody actually calls them that. They're bloodthirsty raiders from the great isle of Piandania. We usually see a ship or two, but this bunch have a fleet. A huge one. Call themselves the Dreadsails. They're a vicious band of pirates that have been causing trouble in the archipelago for some time, but no one realized how large their fleet was. Now they seem more intent on conquest than pillaging. That would be Sea Lord Nalos. He recruits Sea Elf captains and offers them a place in the Dreadsails fleet. If I didn't know better, I'd say he was trying to create his own Sea Elf kingdom far from Piandania. Could explain our current problems. The druids of the Sisters Archipelago are divided into 3 circles: the Stone Lore, the Elder Tide, and the Firesong. Usually they get along, or at least leave each other in peace. Lately, not so much. I know, mate. I was there. The Firesong say they don't know anything about Archdruid Michiel's travels and didn't approve his actions. I don't believe them. Neither do the Stone Lore or the Elder Tide. Aye, they've been spending time at Glimmertarn, a Stone Lore village to the north. Laurel has also been scouting for Sea Elf incursions. Free rarely leaves her side. You wouldn't believe how Free has grown. Matured? Not sure how to describe it. Druid Laurel thinks it's got something to do with an old prophecy. The Elder Tide blame the Sea Elves, and the Firesong refuse to explain themselves to anyone. So, your guess is as good as anyone's, mate. After our last adventure together, I wanted to do more to help Druid Laurel with her exploration of Druid history. I came back here to dust off some old books, ask a few questions. After all, Galen's like a second home to me. Remember how I mentioned that shipwreck years ago? When the Stone Lore Druids rescued me and took me in, taught me to see the world in a new way? That was here on Galen. I set aside my cutlass for magic, but lately, I've needed both blade and staff. Count Mornard sent word to the Mages Guild that he wanted to hire a battle mage. I was already here, so the guild sent me. Not the first time I've sold my sword, or my staff. I advise the Count, and get my hands dirty when I need to. The druids of the Sisters Archipelago are divided into 3 circles: the Stone Lore, the Elder Tide, and the Firesong. Usually they get along, Or at least leave each other in peace. Lately, not so much. The Elder Tide resent the Breton noble houses. All outsiders, really. They believe islands belong to the Druids, and some of them act on that belief. But we've got something of a truce with them on Galen. Turns out sea elves are everyone's problem.
The Steadfast are here to aid those harmed by the Sea Elf attacks. I have no knights to lend you, Count Bernard, Sir Stephen.
We'll have to handle the Sea Elves ourselves then. I don't know what's keeping the Druids.
You place too much trust in those ivy-robed beggars, Stephen.
Well, if it isn't Lady Arabelle's talented assistant, I might have guessed that Galen's troubles would draw you here. What can I do for you, my friend? Ah, thank you. We're short-handed, and I haven't had anyone to send for these. As you can see, the fighting on Galen has caused no end of suffering. And most of the victims are simple farmers and townsfolk, not soldiers. Damn those sea elf pirates! For the most part. There have been some incidents among the Druid circles, too, but the Sea Elves are definitely the biggest threat. Talk to Sir Stephen Mornard. I'm sure he can find a use for someone with your obvious talents. Young Sir Stephen is over there with his father, Count Mornard. They will readily accept any assistance you're willing to offer. Now, if you'll excuse me, the Society of the Steadfast's work is never done. The Mornards are neighbors, so to speak. Count Leonard sent word to me about Galen's troubles with the Sea Elves. I have many responsibilities on High Isle, but still, I had to help an old friend. I am trying to be in two places at the same time as best I can. It involves frequent voyages from Vastir to Gonfalon Bay. Fortunately, I can trust Lady Arabelle to look after the Alliance leaders when I must be absent.
Well met, adventurer. If you're looking for work, I need all the help I can get. Sea Elf raids are nothing new on Galen, but never have they attacked in such numbers. The whole southeast shore is under siege. I'm not sure. Most Sea Elves are pirates. Easy plunder is what they're usually after. But the Dreadsails are more determined than any Maormer I've seen before. Whatever their goal, we must push them back. Hand me your map. I've received reports of Dreadsails near Windrack Fort, the village of Tuin and Suncleft Cove. I need you to investigate these sightings and chase off any Sea Elves you find. Let them know Galen won't go down without a fight. Not as ready as I would like, friend. We don't have enough knights to protect the whole island, but I need information even more than I need soldiers. Find out what the Dreadsails really want, if you can, and where they plan to strike next. All three locations I need you to investigate lie to the east. Chase away any Sea Elves you find at the fort and the village, and see if you can figure out what they're up to at the cove. Report back to me in Vastir when you're done. Time is pressing, but I suppose it's only prudent to find out something about what you're getting into. Which location are you curious about? Well, it's an old fort, built on Windrack Point centuries ago to protect Vastir against attacks from the east. It's not in good repair, but we garrison it as strongly as we can. Yet perhaps not strongly enough. Anything else? Tuin? It's an Eldertide settlement. They have little love for House Mornard, but they like Sea Elves even less. I expected them to put up a stout defense against the Dreadsails, but we haven't heard from them in quite some time. Any more questions? Until today, I would have said Suncleft Cove wasn't important at all. It's a pretty enough spot, but there are certainly better places for the Dreadsails to land raiders. I can't imagine what the Sea Elves want there. Is that all? I leave that to you. With luck, you'll find allies at the fort or village. But whatever you do, go swiftly. If we fail to meet the Sea Elf threat now, It's only a matter of time before we see them at the walls of Vastir. My apologies. In all the excitement, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Sir Stefan Mornard, and this is my father, Count Leonard Mornard. Our house has the honor of governing the Isle of Galen for our liege, High King Emeric. It might be more accurate to say he governs Vastir and the lands surrounding the city. The northern half of Galen is mostly wilderness. Quite a few druids live there, but they look after their own affairs. Galen may claim to be a Breton holding, but the druids have lived here for centuries. Some of them don't like city folk, but they certainly defend the coast from pirates. Especially the Eldertide Circle. It's not like them to avoid a fight. One of the 3 circles of druids in the archipelago. The Eldertide live by the coast and dislike outsiders. The Firesong are recluses, keeping to old places of power. Then there's the Stone Lore. I studied with them when I was young. With the druids and with a knightly order. I suppose you could say I had a well-rounded sister's education. If you're interested, I'll tell you more about it later. Right now, I need you to check out those locations.
Over here, mate. I thought I might see you here. Looks like a band of sea elves got ashore and seized the fort. Now more of those sea dogs are on their way. I was hoping for some druid help, but they never arrived. So it's up to us. I spotted more sea elf warships brimming with reinforcements. Luckily, the fort's ballistas are intact. Get to the ballistas and stop those ships. That will give us time to deal with the enemies who already made it to shore. I'll see if I can rally the knights and get the wounded back on their feet. We'll need them to hold the fort once you stop the reinforcements from reaching the shore. Meet me on the bluffs north of the fort when you're done. Take a right when you get into the fort. There's a path that leads down to the docks. You'll find the ballistas there. My guess is the Dreadsail ships will flee at the first sign of resistance. They won't risk their ships to ballista strikes. Nice work, mate. Your aim was impeccable. Well done. These Dreadsails may be fierce, but they lack loyalty. Even though they've got numbers on their side, they won't stick their necks out for their mates. That's something we can use against them. You've done your part. We can deal with the stragglers around Winrack Fort, now that they've got no reinforcements coming to support them. Your work's just beginning though, mate. I fear the seas ahead will be rough for all of us. Word is, the Sea Elves struck there as well. It's just up the coast to the north. I believe Druid Laurel of the Stonelore Circle is there, looking into things. I'd appreciate it if you kept an eye on her, mate. Laurel is like kin to me. Laurel found me half-drowned after a shipwreck 10 years back. She was just a girl then, but she had the sense to fetch help. Which is how I came to know the Stonelore Druids. She's been a friend ever since. Aye, I heard that too. Something about sea elves taking prisoners into a cave near the cove. Strange. If the Dreadsails took captives, why haven't they tried to ransom them yet? Banneret Korek went to investigate. Help him if you can.
I didn't expect to see you again so soon, friend. But I never refuse the gifts that Ifrey is willing to give me. I came to help the Eldertide Druids, but I was too late. This battle is already lost, Blight take it. Sir Stefan's a dear friend of mine, and practically a druid himself. We studied together, under Archdruid Raval when we were younger. It's not unlike him to worry about the druids, even the Eldertide. The Dreadsails happened, but it makes no sense. The Eldertide have no riches. Druids don't care about such things, and they command formidable magic. What pirate attacks a target that can fight back for no obvious profit? Druids choose their own paths. The Eldertide of High Isle are bitter, resentful. But as long as the Mornards don't push into Druid territory, the Eldertide of Galen are content to live in peace. It was foolish of the Dreadsails to provoke them. That's strange. It makes me wonder what the Sea Elves really hope to gain by these attacks. Let's look around. Watch for anything that looks interesting or out of place. With any luck, we can figure out why the Sea Elves attacked Tuin. A lore keeper? What relic could they be searching for? Ember blooms? The Firesong used them to cast certain spells. Are they involved in this too?
single sea elf bested the lot of you?
She hit us like a storm of steel. Didn't kill anyone, though. Just put us in the sand.
Can you believe this? I came to check on my knights when I found them indisposed. House Mornard's finest. Pah! Now, who are you? My knights tracked a band of dreadsails to the cave here at Suncleft Cove. As they tell it, however, a single sea elf tore through them before they could search inside. Didn't even bother to kill them. Just knocked them senseless and left them here. Right, that was in my report. Since Sir Stefan sent you, I could use your help. Scout the cave. We have to find the prisoners and free them. I'll follow once my knights recover. Just watch out. The sea elf who beat them is somewhere inside. Remember, we think the Dreadsails have prisoners in there. Maybe some knights, but certainly druids from the nearby village. Find them if you can and set them free. We'll join you as soon as my knights recover their senses. Nothing good, that's for certain. They're pirates, slavers, murderers, and thieves. In my experience, the only good sea elf is a dead sea elf. These Dreadsails, though, they're the worst of their kind. Nothing like this. Isolated raids, some pillaging. They were pirates before, but now they act like a conquering army. Watch out for the one that knocked my knights senseless. She must be quite a fighter to defeat them without spilling any blood. Coric's the name. Banneret in the service of House Mornard. My family has proudly served the lords of Galen for generations. I'll bring these murderous sea elves to battle and defeat them, or die in attempt. Oh, not familiar with knightly ranks? Do they do things differently on the mainland? A banneret is the equivalent of a captain in my order. A knight who commands other knights. Looks like I've got some work to do with these louts, though.
This one has the information I seek. We simply need to extract it from her. I'll take her with me to the keep. Dispose of the rest as you wish, but do not tarry long.
No, please! Don't hurt them! You only need me!
you.
Slack, you and your Sea Lord aren't fit to call yourselves Marama.
Stay your hand, stranger. This sea elf saved our lives.
I told the fool knights outside I wasn't their enemy. Do you have more sense than them? You're willing to talk? At least you're smarter than those knights outside. I suppose Sea Lord Nalos and his scum have taught the people of this island to fear anyone with blue skin. Understand this. I don't answer to that foul beast. Captain Siravane of the Gilded Blades. You'd call me a pirate, I suppose? But I'm not one of Sea Lord Nalos' traitors, and I'm not involved in all this druid foolishness. You look confused. Must be from the continent. Yes, I'm a Marama. Well, they're not captives anymore, and you and I need not be enemies. Sea Lord Nalos is my quarry, for reasons of my own. But I'll tell you this much, mercenary. Nalos seeks some sort of druid relic. Calls it a sacred seed. I'm not sure. That slimy eel escaped and he took one of the druids with him. Probably thinks she can take him to that seed. No matter. I'll find him. Warn your allies about the Sea Lord, mercenary. Galen isn't safe while he lives.
The sea elf escaped. Oh, too bad. At least we can get these druids to safety. We'll handle things from here. Return to Vastir and report to Sir Stefan when you're ready.
Let's take a look in the lodge. There might be something about the relic there. Archdruid Orlaith, what are you doing here?
Confirming a suspicion, little Laurel. Archdruid Raval was right to call the Drafer together. Tell him the Firesong will attend. The time has come to gather the seeds. The prophecy of the Druid King is at hand.
The seeds? Is that what this... Oh, Blight! She's gone. Friend, we should talk. Root and rot! That was Archdruid Orlaith, leader of the Firesong Circle. I think I know what really happened here, and I don't like it at all. The relic the Dreadsails sought is the sacred seed of the Eldertide, a gift of the last Druid King. Each circle was granted one. That's what Archdruid Orlaith meant by gathering seeds. Could she be the druid mentioned in the Dreadsails' orders? Maybe. I'm not sure why they wanted to wake free, but other Firesong tried to take the Stonelore seed right around the same time. And now this. Archdruid Orlaith mentioned the Druid King's prophecy. Could that be what this is all about? Not as far as I know. The seeds are mentioned in the dream of Kasserine, the prophecy of the last Druid King. The Firesong seem to believe its time has come. The other circles, not so much. Perhaps the Drafa can make sense of all this. A council of druids, elders from all three circles. Archdruid Raval of the Stonelore has summoned the Drafa to address grievances against the Firesong. But up till now, Orlaith ignored him. Tell Stefan about this. Pirates aren't his only problem.
These sea elf pirates become more brazen every day. When is House Mornard going to do something?
You know, the House Fort never has...
I hear you wiped out a vampire lair in Glenumbra.
Entirely
And
true.
killed
Your
a child
people are in
just
as much
because
danger as everyone else, Galpin. Sea elves make no distinctions when it comes to staging raids.
I didn't say we weren't, Dame Theta. But this...
Ah, here's our mate now.
Well met, friend. Dulef tells me you handled yourself well at Windrak Fort. Now, what news of the other two locations? Laurel seemed troubled when she returned, but she went to find Archdruid Reval before I could speak to her. A good thing I sent you to Tuin, then. The Eldertide rarely need or want our help, but I'm glad we could provide it. Still, why would the Dreadsails take prisoners to the Cove? When Sea Elves take captives, they usually sail off and demand ransom. The Dreadsails are working with a druid of the Firesong Circle? The Firesong usually have nothing to do with outsiders, let alone Sea Elf pirates. And now I understand why Laurel seemed so worried, and why the Dreyfa has been summoned. What madness! A war among the circles is the last thing Galen needs right now. I've been invited to observe the Dreyfa. I'd like you to tag along. Find Laurel in the Vine District here in the city. If she agrees, you can join us. The Vine District lies on the east side of the city near the harbor. It's a small druid conclave. I'll join you there shortly. I need to confer with my father and send scouts to search for Sea Lord Nalos while we attend the Dreyfa. I may be the son of Count Mornard, but I studied for years with the Stonelore Circle. I hold druid beliefs in high regard. In fact, I share many of them, which is unusual for those not dedicated to their ranks. In return, the druids trust me. Like most nobles, my father pays little attention to the druids. When he must speak with the circles, he summons emissaries to Vestir. The Dreyfa is a meeting of druid leaders. Outsiders are rarely permitted, but they consider me almost a druid. My father's knights protect the city, and the harbor is well fortified. Besides, I think you chased away the Dreadsails for now. Our scouts report they're nowhere to be seen. But if you're concerned for my safety, don't be. I can fend for myself. The Eldertide Circle has no love of outsiders. If they had their way, we'd get back into our ships and return to High Rock. The Circle here on Galen is more forgiving than the Eldertide on High Isle, but they still don't fully trust us. Yes, I'm aware. Probably has more to do with how developed High Isle has become as compared to Galen. Here, we mainly stick to our corner of the island and give the druids free reign over the rest of it. The Stonelore are content to live alongside people who don't share their beliefs. They hope to set an example for others to follow, but they make no demands. As for the Firesong, they're reclusive. They usually stick to their isle and ignore us.
I really should set up another chat with the local druids. I have an idea for their herb gardens.
Taking that aroma, folks. That's the Chef Razi's guarantee. You there, traveler. You look as
hello
adventurous
again.
as my
What
taste
brings you
buds.
to the Vine District?
Care to help the greatest chef in
I hoped to see you again, my friend. But I need to prepare for the Dreyfa. The Elders really must deal with the strife that has come between the circles. You know, that's not a bad idea. Few outsiders are permitted to attend the council meetings, but you can attest to what we saw at Tuin. The Firesong Circle is willing to use force to gather the 3 sacred seeds, and that's just wrong. The last Druid King gave 1 seed to each circle long ago. He also gave us a prophecy, the Dream of Cassarain. Some druids consider it a warning, but Archdruid Orlaith and others believe it's a call to action. Meet me at the Telling Stone, the landmark near the center of the island. It would be easier to simply show you the prophecy, and it's close to Dreyfadel. Besides, Free might be there. They will want to see you again.
Darkness stirs. Roots tremble. Druids gather. I am the nourisher. The sower. Needed?
I don't think that's wise, Free. I don't trust the Firesong.
Firesong. Pulsing, ripping, torn free from the ground. Blood in leaves. A memory. You. There when blood soaked the leaves. When eyes opened and roots awoke. Defender. You feel it. Yes? Unrest in the soil. Wrongness. A song of hate blows through the branches. Harm drips like sap. It soaks the ground. Awaken to fire. Tremors. Volcano. Deadwood. Blood in the shadows. I am troubled. Rock. Root. Leaf. Brook. All dreams of the green. My kin. Spirits given form. We are. Purpose. Meaning. Now, a new purpose grows. Unwelcome change. King Cassarain called me from the green. A choice to be made. A moment. Waiting. Needed. My purpose is to be. Wait. Listen. Roots must find water before they drink.
Welcome to the Telling Stone, my friend. These runes tell the prophecy we call the Dream of Cassarain. Almost nothing survives from the time of the Druid King, but we have this, and now Free as well. You saw what Archdruid Michiel did to the Weirds. Druids who are ready to hurt others like that shouldn't get what they want. So I've been keeping Free safe, and helping them learn about people. They grow more every day. It's incredible. I probably know more about the Druid King than any other Druid alive, but so much remains a mystery. The Dream of Cassarain describes a mountain shaking and a sower awakening. I think it's talking about Mount Firesong and Free. So much has been lost, so I can only guess. Maybe Archdruid Orlaith believes the seeds must be united to make the prophecy come true. Until they end their violent ways, though, I plan to keep Free a secret. Let's go see what happens at the Dreyfa. The Dreyfa will begin soon. 3 Archdruids from each circle meet in a dell within the hills across the valley just to the south of here. We should make our way there. I don't want to miss anything. Someday a new Druid King will appear to take the Ivy Throne. Cassarain led our withdrawal from the mainland, but he also saw a day when Druids would once again take their place in Tamriel, for good or ill. The dream is a promise and a warning. Some Druids believe we're destined to bring a green renewal to Tamriel, to teach everyone to live in harmony with nature. Others fear a green scourge, when nature runs amok, and the tyranny of Druids takes hold. I think the dream is a metaphor, Cassarain was reminding us of where we came from. The day he describes will never come, but we should lead our lives as if it's close at hand. Make the right choices, do the right things. That's how I see it. Hard to say. So much is open to interpretation. I think it warns of a usurper who claims the kingship by force and treachery. It may be related to the end of Cassarain's rule. I found one reference to an all-weather death cult active at that time. Cassarain was the last of the Druid kings. In an age long past, he led our people from High Rock to Galen. They hoped to find a land where Druids could live in peace and follow Ifre's teachings as they understood them. He chose no successor before he died. Instead, Cassarain recognized the three circles and told them to govern themselves, together, in peace. And so the Draifa, the Council of Druids, came into existence. The Draifa has guided us ever since.
The day is upon us. The Draifa must crown a new Druid king.
Perhaps, but you have no right to claim the sacred seeds by force.
You hide your seeds and keep the sower of Cassarain's dream for yourself. You declare this war, not the Firesong.
No Druid king can be crowned until the circles are united. The telling stone is quite clear.
This Draifa is a sham. If I must burn away the old to reveal the new, so be it!
Teach these sea snakes a lesson, mate! I'll keep Raval and Alec safe!
Thank you, Maylander. Now, go help Laurel and Stefan.
Go on! I'll keep watch here.
Mainlanders should not meddle in Druid affairs. Deal with them, Brenna. You defeated my champion? No matter. Tell Count Mornard to stay out of this, or his son's life is forfeit.
The Elder Tide will make Orlaith answer for this outrage.
She has young Stefan. We must tread carefully, yet, thanks to this Mainlander, we still live.
We must inform Count Mornard. I won't tell Archdruids what to do, but you're welcome in Vestir.
Orlaith was going to take me, but Stefan intervened. He put himself in danger to save me and protect my circle. We need to tell Count Mornard what happened, and then we have to help Stefan. Archdruid Orlaith never intended the Draifa to judge her actions. Root and rot. She only agreed to come so she could have the Dreadsails kill the Archdruids. She meant to leave the Stone Lore and the Elder Tide crippled and without their leaders. So I see. Thank you. That was more good than I could do. I chased after Orlaith and ran directly into her hands. Worse yet, I brought Stefan right to her. Now the Firesong Circle has a hostage. I don't know, but Count Mornard will be furious. Archdruid Orlaith might demand the sacred seeds in exchange for Stefan. Or she could make House Mornard stand down until her allies collect the seeds for her. This is bad.
Attacking the Dreyfa? How will that bring the circles together?
The Firesong will answer for this crime, Galfin. By House Mornard's...
And now my son is in their clutches? We should have left these foolish druids to their squabbles.
Ignoring someone doesn't mean they'll ignore you. We need the Eldertide and the Stone Lord to meet this threat, and save your son.
Dulev tells me you played no small part in repelling the Dread Sails and foiling an attack on the Druid Council, mercenary. Has the Firesong Circle truly made an alliance with the hated Sea Elves? All this trouble over druidic nonsense? And it led to the deaths of 4 archdruids? Unbelievable! But I wouldn't expect Sea Elf pirates to bother with an alliance that doesn't pay in plunder. What does Sea Lord Nalos get out of all this? Typical. A druid who doesn't believe in property generously giving away something that doesn't belong to her. When last I looked, I ruled Galen. Did Archdruid Orlaith say what she wants from me as a price for keeping my son alive? I had no interest in druid quarrels until she threatened my son. Bah! Stefan warned me something dangerous was afoot. I should have listened. Here, House Mornard always pays its debts. There's more to come if you continue to aid us, mercenary. I refuse to let Galen's enemies dictate my actions. Yet I dare not move directly against the Firesong Circle or their Dreadsail's friends, as long as they're holding Stefan hostage. What say you, mercenary? Ready to earn some more House Mornard gold? I don't trust Archdruid Orlaith to spare my son, even if she gets everything she wants. I will instruct my knights to stand down. Let her think I am paralyzed by this threat. Meanwhile, we secretly work to save Stefan from the Firesong. While Archdruid Orlaith sees my knights doing what she demanded, nothing. I want you to find Stefan and set him free. Dulev says the Stone Law and Eldertide Archdruids are here in the city. Get them to tell you where Stefan is being held. I'm counting on you, mercenary. Save my son, and you can name your price. Dulev says Revol and Elec are by the bridge east of Vastir. Talk to them. They know parts of Galen no one else has even seen. They must have an idea where to find Stefan. While the Firesong call Ifilon home, I suspect Orlaith will keep him close until she acquires the seeds from the other druid circles. He could be on a Dreadsail ship, but I doubt the Firesong would trust their allies with such precious cargo. Respect? Perhaps not. But I left them mostly alone to practice their ancient religion. My biggest problem with them, before the current crisis, was their insistence to hold on to the past. Bretons need to embrace modern ways if we're going to thrive. Yes, but we used to control so much more. My father was the Duke of the Sisters. When he supported King Rancer in his war against the High King, Emmerich took the ducal title and awarded it to House Dufort. An unjust and harsh penalty, in my opinion. A hard question, but a fair one. My house has always found it wiser to let the druids take care of their own affairs. Most of them dislike us as it is. Imagine their resentment if Mornards took sides in all their petty disputes. I blame his mother. Visel took an interest in Druid teachings when she came to Galen. She shared that interest with our son. When Visel died, well, I could not forbid something Stefan had shared with his mother.